Hey Tipster, you've just been coming with the hits lately, huh? And by hits, I mean horrific news. Let's get into it. Skip it up and that up. Anyway, I love Tipster. He's going to eventually be on my YouTube live stream on my secondary channel, RTU Streams, link below in the description. Make sure you check it out there, and eventually I'll have Tipster on. And Boogie, I'm still waiting for you to come on the show, man. Me and Camelot are waiting. We're going to have another Shirtless Men live stream. But enough of plugs, because this is insane and it's very serious. So last night, Tipster hits me up with a DM that the senior account manager for NVIDIA, Todd Weissman, was caught by People versus Preds, the same people that caught the Sony executive. This is the same vigilante group. You know how I feel about these vigilante groups that went after Sony executive George Cacipo. Again, it's a recipe for disaster. I've explained it before. These guys are disgusting, but the way these vigilante groups are set up, most of them anyway, something really bad is going to happen, and it's going to have a ripple effect across YouTube. I don't wish it on anybody. I want to see the predators brought to justice that are caught and put behind bars and the key be thrown away. But these groups ain't it. Even how People versus Preds acted when they picked up Sony exec George Cacipo and Todd Weissman from NVIDIA, it's just a mess. I'll have a link to it all below in the description. But anyway, this comes right from Tipster's Twitter about the situation. Tipster News: senior account manager for NVIDIA, Todd Weissman, was caught by the independent predator hunting group People versus Predators, allegedly trying to meet a 15-year-old. We'll get more into the date of this in a second. The sting operation took place back in October 7th, 2021, but People versus Preds recently sent me a tip regarding the case, because it was under the radar, because no one was really talking about it. Just like no one in the mainstream media, mostly, save for CNET and a couple others, didn't really talk about what happened with Sony exec George Cacipo. You don't want to bite the hand that feeds you, I guess, huh? Anyway, Tipster has, according to their LinkedIn profile, Todd Weissman has been employed by NVIDIA since March of 2020, serving as a senior account manager for their federal enterprise team. They are currently still employed with the company. Following the sting operation, Todd Weissman removed his profile picture because, you know, no one's going to be able to find him. Like, once you're caught for this, man, it's over. Todd Weissman removed his profile picture from his LinkedIn page, but an archive of the page exists showing the original profile picture. And then it goes into a whole bunch of nasty, they met on Grindr, then they went over to text, and there's a whole, he has pictures of himself. It's just absolutely disgusting, and it'll be interesting to see where the chips fall with this now that it's being put out there. But, and this is the thing, I'm not a fan of these vigilante groups, and I've explained countless times why, but when you see this happened in October, where was everybody? Where was Kotaku? These journalism websites, they'll talk to a janitor that works at Microsoft to get information and use it as an accredited source. I'm being slightly sarcastic, but not by much. And then you have someone who is a higher up executive who was caught. And there wasn't even really that much of a deal for when Sony exec George Cacipo was caught. I was like, where is everybody? Where is everybody? As a matter of fact, it was funny in the beginning. Dan Stapleton over at IGN actually was like, we don't cover stuff like this. This is actually what happened. Shout out to my dude Paul, who follows me over on Twitter. People were asking IGN, and now they're covering it. Now it's covered. Wonder why. But initially, this is Dan Stapleton from IGN. So it's not like someone else saying they didn't cover it and then they covered it, and then you could go by the conspiracy. Oh, I bet they covered it because people are calling it. No, this is coming from someone from IGN. Okay. Dan Stapleton is the IGN's executive editor of reviews. Okay. It's not like he's just, serving coffee there. Okay, and this is what he had to say on this situation. This is screen capped. He took it down, by the way. Right, but Sony had nothing to do with his actions. Okay. Yeah, I'm sure that people weren't forcing him to George Cacipo to do what he did. It's just a horrendous thing that he did, and he works for a major corporation that's a big part of the gaming industry, Dan. Right, but Sony had nothing to do with his actions as far as I can see, and he's not a name anyone recognizes. When does that have to? And then someone calls him out in 4K below, so it's not really news. IGN covers lots of things that aren't gaming related, e.g. movies, TV, tech, science, but general crime isn't one of them. It's general crime involving a major company that you work with. Shut up. Get out of here. And then someone right below, because again, this tweet is gone, showing them covering similar topics that these aren't even, these are just like influencers. Oh, but it's not. Look, we have former League of Legends world champion arrested for allegedly selling drugs. Skyrim IRL TikTok star arrested in connection with, I'm not going to say it, but what do you have to do with TikTok, IGN? You're mostly a gaming website. What does TikTok have to do with you? But you'll cover that no problem, right? What, because Sony wouldn't be breathing down your neck? Is that what it is? Like, come on. And then there's other examples below right there. Again, this is all gone because his tweet is gone. But Jesus Christ, man. That's why we didn't fight. You'll talk about these random TikTokers that no one gives a crap about. And then you have from right now the biggest gaming platform out there. Well, actually, PC is the biggest gaming platform, but the most wildly successful current gen console out there. It's going back and forth between the Switch and the PS5. You have the corporation behind it. You have an executive getting caught doing something heinous. And no, it's not. What's happening over here? Wait. Yeah, Sony needs to send us more review copies. Yeah, most of our revenue comes from the products that this company makes. Yeah, it never happened. That's exactly what you're doing. Now you covered it later. This tweet's taken down by Dan Stapleton, and now there's an article covering it because you had to cover it, because you looked bad, because you got called out with receipts that you did when it's other companies you do the exact opposite. Why is no one talking? This is NVIDIA. This is NVIDIA, and no one was talking about it. Now, again, it's all alleged, of course, innocent until proven guilty, but when someone allegedly gets caught with something like this, everyone else will start talking about it. If it was something else, IGN would be all over it, but it's Sony. Shh, we need money. I'm not saying it's just Sony either. It would happen if it was Microsoft. It would happen if it was Nintendo, because they want to appeal. It's just like politics. It's the same thing. The news corporations that are out there, it doesn't matter if it's CNN or Fox News, they have their paymasters and they want to appease them. Why do you think when net neutrality, which is now dead, why do you think when net neutrality had its neck on the line, you never heard anybody talking about it, whether it was Fox News or CNN? Because they're corporations that own them, that have a stranglehold and filter the news that comes out, told them, shut up about this, we want it to pass, it'll make us money. And it's the same thing here. You didn't want Sony to be pissed off at you for putting out the information that you had a monster working there, and same with NVIDIA, because you don't want to bite the hand that feeds you. That's exactly what it is. You were more concerned about that than being journalists, and it's disgusting. This is Rich of Review Tech USA signing out. Have a good one.